Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Today in this video, I'm going to show you the differences between a standard halogen headlight bulb versus an LED headlight bulb. And I'm going to show you the differences today between the light output between the two, along with the color temperature. Now I'm going to go over all these little details, but as it stands, let me first show you what I have right here. Now, if you guys remember in a previous video, I showed you how to install an LED light bar made by the company Auxbeam. And that company sent me a couple different LEDs just so I could give you guys a good representation as to what, say, difference between any of their LEDs are and a standard halogen bulb. So most companies that will sell you a vehicle are going to include headlight bulbs that are similar to this. Now these right here are regular halogen bulbs. Now the way that this works is you're going to get your power and ground through the connector, and what it's going to do is it's going to supply power to a filament. On the inside of the bulb, there's going to be like a little coil that gets super hot, and when it gets hot, that's what makes light. It emits light. However, this is a very inefficient way of actually supplying light. There's a lot of heat that's generated by a bulb like this, and it's wasted energy. So I took this out of my vehicle in both the low beams and the fog lights. I'm gonna take them out, set them aside, and I'm gonna replace them with LEDs. Now say this LED right here, this LED is an H11, so that's the size of the bulb. Now this is a direct plug and play system, and if you can see right here, I wanna see if I can get a close-up of this. You can see that there's no actual filament, there's no nothing that's similar in style to the regular halogen. So this is completely different than a setup like this. So you're gonna get your traditional power and ground through the connector. It's gonna go through here, and it's gonna supply power to the little LED chips found on each side. Now you insert this inside the headlight housing just like you normally would. So this right here is an H11, and if you can see right there, see those like little prongs? Well, this is the exact same thing. So you insert this into the headlight housing, and with a style of LED like this, these do generate a little bit of heat. However, it's in a different area than the halogen bulb. So the halogen creates all of its heat at the filament. This is a little bit different. The heat does not exactly generate from the LED chip itself. However, there's a little computer on the inside, which is the circuit board, and that's what gets hot. So to cope with that heat, you can see there's a little tiny fan on the inside of here that's gonna blow heat over this heatsink, which is gonna in turn cool down the light. Now this is a lot brighter than a regular halogen bulb. Now I'm gonna show you the difference before and after. So I'm gonna show you before version of what this is installed on the car, and then after with this LED. Now it's very simple, it's a direct plug and play system, so just take out the connector on the back, unplug it, install this one right here, and you're good to go. Now working from left to right, I'm gonna go over this headlight, this one, and how they're different. So this kit right here, this is also from Auxbeam. This is an FS2. So this is a FS2 model headlight. This is what they have. And this kind of headlight is slightly different than the other ones. So this is an 8,000 lumen kit. So each headlight supplies 4,000 lumens from each. Now, I'll get a close-up of this one. I really want you guys to see the LED style on this one. You can see that this is slightly different than the previous one I showed you. This is one single Bridge Lux LED. So you can see one on that side and one on that side. Now this style housing is the exact same thing as the other one I showed you, and the light output is gonna be more or less the same, however, it might be slightly different. The only difference is the style of LEDs that they're running. So this right here is very similar, to the FS3. So you can see that this also has an 8,000 lumen rating. So both headlights are gonna supply 8,000 lumens of light out onto the road. Now the color temperature between the two, if you guys know something about that, color temperature, both of them are 6,500 Kelvin. So it's kind of a very white, kind of to the bluish side of light. Now, the difference between this is a Bridge Lux LED, this is a Philips style LED. So the company that makes these LEDs is the only difference between the two. So this is manufactured, each one of these, by Philips. So you can see these are like slightly, like kind of small squares. And it's a little bit different than this one. However, if you were just gonna look at them straight up and you didn't really know much about the LEDs, you'd think they're the exact same thing. Now these are their entry-level ones. Now Auxbeam also has their top-of-the-line model, which is this one right here. So, first off, you can tell it's gold or anodized. It's a very actually interesting color, and it comes with this little piece right here. Now this is an LED driver, so if you have, say, any problems running your LEDs, maybe it's flickering, maybe you have any issue, that's what this is. So this hooks up directly like that into there. And then it's a direct plug and play system, just like your halogen. So you take the halogen bulb out, you slap this in along with the driver, and this style LED is slightly different and a little bit better. So this right here, this is the F16. Now this right here, as you can see from the box, is a 7200 lumen LED. Now, the difference between, say, this and the other ones, the LED chip, I'm gonna get another close-up again. The LED chip on this one is a Cree LED. So you'll have one on that side and another one on that side. Now, what essentially it looks like is it's small 4 independent LEDs with like a little projector bulb on it. So you can see like that little bulge. It's essentially like a little glass piece. And that's just amplifying the light outwards. So if you install this inside your car, you're gonna get absolutely fantastic light output. And just like the other ones, it's got a fan on the bottom, and this one is a little bit better, and it's gonna perform a little bit better than these two right here. Now, as for the color temperature for this is a 6000 Kelvin LED, and what this means is it's gonna be more to the white side of the color spectrum, and this is gonna have better light output at nighttime than, say, one of these. If you're focused more on color and you want like a bluish white light, this is one of the kits that you would go with. If you want something for pure performance, this is what you wanna go with. Now, when I installed all 3 of these headlights on my car, I noticed that these two, they perform very similar. Honestly, I couldn't tell the difference between each one of these kits. So they both do a very good job. They both look very nice. They both look almost the exact same. And if you ask me, like, they're both rated for the same thing as well. So, I mean, it's hard to distinguish whichever one you want. If you want a Philips bulb, go with that. If you want a Bridge Lux LED, you go with this one. It's as simple as that. They both look the same. They both function the same way. They both have fans on the bottom, and they're both plug and play. Now, if you want something pure performance, if you ask me, I would go with this one. And it does a very good job. I love this one. I put one of these kits in my low beams and another one in my fog lights. So both of them are H11s. So luckily, I can slap 2 H11 kits in there, and it's a direct plug and play system. So hook it up. So you get that connector right there. Hook it into the bottom side of that one. And you just grab this, plug that into the wiring harness where you disconnected your halogen bulb, and you're done. Now that's enough talking for now. I'm gonna show you what all this looks like when you install it on the car. Now if we come to the passenger side of the vehicle, you can see that this is the low beam found with the halogen projector bulbs in there. So that's like that, and if we switch to the driver's side, you can see that in the projector, the light is a lot bluer, and this is with the Philips FS3 headlight bulbs from Auxbeam. You can see the color is a lot nicer than the regular halogen that comes from the standard manufacturer. So this came factory. This is after we installed our Auxbeam LEDs. Now it looks fantastic. Now say if you had this type of LED mounted up in your headlights and in your fog lights, I will promise you your car is gonna look fantastic from the road. Now, other than looks, how does this do performance-wise? So to show you how well they perform against the halogen regular bulbs that came with the car, I brought the car outside, and I've got it pointed at my garage door. And if you can see right here, the left side, that's our LED, and the right side is our halogen. You can see how much more light is actually being outputted to the left as opposed to the right. Now the biggest thing with this is the projector. So the style of headlight that I have in here, the projector is obviously going to disperse light a lot better than a regular reflective side of headlight like that. However, you're still going to see a large increase in performance when you install LEDs on your car. Now, one thing to note is that once you install them on your car, you can see down here, see how all this is just very bright? Well, you can see that we have a very distinct cutoff line. Now, you don't want any light to be refracted up here. Now, what happens is when you install the wrong kind of bulb in the wrong housing, is that all the light that's down here isn't going to be cut off perfectly along that line. What's going to happen is all of this light is going to be shattered and reflected everywhere, and it's going to be blinding oncoming drivers. So make sure that when you install a set of headlights like this, these LEDs, make sure they have a good cutoff. Now, it's not going to be guaranteed for every car. However, you can give it a shot, and if it looks terrific like this, you know it's going to be safe on the road, you're going to have great light visibility, and not only that, but it looks a heck of a lot better than the regular yellow lights from the manufacturer. So there's the color temperature. See how it's like a white light? The halogen is more of a yellow. See what I mean? So completely up to you guys. If you guys like your standard halogens, that's fine. You can continue with that. But if you want a light upgrade, especially at nighttime, you know, to increase safety for your vehicle, light disbursement on the road and everything, LEDs are a fantastic way to go. So I'm going to show you guys how simple it actually is to replace it. Now, depending on your car, you're going to have to take out the headlight any certain way. You're going to have to find out how to do that and then continue onto what I'm doing. Now, some cars you might be lucky enough to just stick your hand in the engine bay and you might be able to get the bulbs out. However, for my car, you can't. So I'm just grabbing a 10 millimeter, taking out 1 bolt, 2 bolts, 3 bolts. And then when I do that, I can pull the headlight forward. Pull this out, which I forgot to do. And once you have that out, headlight should come out nice and easy. Just like that. And then the back side, ready? This is how simple it is. So here is the LED headlight. Twist, pull out. Simple as that. Once you have that out, all that you're doing to the end of the connector to remove it, you're pushing that down and sliding this out. So watch how easy this is. Ready? Undo, twist, and that's it. There's your LED. So this right here is the Philips FS3. Now I'm gonna take this out, quickly show you what the car looks like with all halogens and then all LEDs. So in both the low beam and the fog lights, we have our regular halogen headlight bulbs in there. And it's not that it doesn't look good, but it's just, you know, it's nothing crazy. It doesn't catch your eye, and the light performance isn't amazing. Now, once we switch to our LEDs, we're gonna be able to see a huge difference. Now, I'm first gonna show you guys what this looks like when I take the car for a spin, and then I'm gonna show you afterwards. Now, that is low beam and fog lights, so both of our lights are on. Now, driving at nighttime, what does this look like? You can tell right here, this is our low beam and our fog lights on. And as you can tell, like the lights work, but they're not amazing. They don't light everything up very nicely. So let's see, after we install our LEDs, let's see if we can tell if there's a difference. So we go from our standard halogen bulbs that look like this to our awesome white looking LEDs that look like this. And you can see how much nicer these look. Now I'm super excited. I'm gonna take the car for a spin down the road and show you guys how much better the light output is with these as opposed to the halogens. So here we are with our LEDs now installed in our low beams and our fogs. You can see how nice that really nice blue color is. So I installed the F16s in the low beams and the FS3s, so the Philips LEDs, in the low beams, or actually no, in the fog lights rather. And well, like the camera is just, you know, the picture speaks for itself. Looks really nice. If you ask me, it looks a lot better than the regular halogens. Now I'm gonna take the car out and let's go take a look at how this looks. And here we are back outside one more time. So we've got our LEDs and our low beams and our fogs. And take a look at our cutoff. Looks really nice. Yeah, that's very bright. It's a lot brighter than the regular halogens we had in there. Now, here we are on the exact same back road that we were before. Look at how much more is all illuminated. So this is low beams and fogs. Now, I don't know if the camera is really doing it justice, but everything is lit up. This is a very large performance gain from before, and I'm very happy with installing these things. So as I said, I have the F16s in the low beams, so that's where most of the light is coming from, and then I have the FS3s, which is the Philips LEDs. I've got those in our fogs. Looks really nice if you ask me. And there you guys have it. It's a very simple, very easy do-it-yourself mod that not only makes the car look nicer, but you get better light output at nighttime. If you guys want to pick up any of the stuff that I used today, you guys can check the description box. If you have any questions regarding the product, if you want, you can send an email to Auxbeam. I'll have their contact info in the description box so you guys can check that out. If you have any questions, throw it down there as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of the company OPT7, but these guys are probably one of the leading brands in LEDs, along with Auxbeam. Now, I'll be doing a review comparing their OPT7 LED Fluxbeam LED versus Auxbeam's F16 LED. Now, you guys can check out that video later. Now, once I have it out, you guys will be able to click on an annotation right here and the description box. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.